Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. With Halloween freshly upon us, I thought we might have a light and fun week of looking at some of the superstitions that are operative in our society. Yesterday we looked at the serious side of superstition, how they invite us into worship of whom we ought not, or in a manner we ought not. We also talked about how superstitions arose as people tried to explain what they saw in their world. Their lack of understanding led to a belief in spirits active in our world, shaping outcomes and events. When a tadpole turns into a frog, for example, to them it all seemed caused by otherworldly means. Nothing else they knew made that kind of change. Life was also full of hardships, so they assumed more spirits were out there causing those. So today we will begin looking at a few of the more well-known superstitions in our world and see what they mean and where they came from. Let's begin with the rabbit's foot. The superstition about the rabbit's foot comes from the Celts way before 600 BC. Since rabbits burrowed, people came to believe rabbits spent much time in communication with the spirits of the underworld. Therefore, rabbits had information that humans were denied. Even more, rabbits are born with their eyes open, and most other mammals, including us, are born with our eyes closed. So these open eyes gave the rabbit an image of wisdom. The key theme, however, was the rabbit's fertility. You know the old tropes about how if you have 2 rabbits this week, next week you have 10, and then, well, you get the picture. This was understood in those times to mean that rabbits were connected to the procreative force in the world. So it became believed that possessing any part of a rabbit assured good fortune. That's where lucky rabbit's feet come from. Let me just point out again that the spiritual world behind all this has nothing to do with our God. The superstitions around a horseshoe have a very interesting origin, and in fact one that does have Christian roots. The legend goes that there once was a blacksmith named Dunstan, and a person came by and asked him to mount some horseshoes on his oddly cloven feet. Dunstan recognized him as Satan and said that in order to do the job, he would have to shackle the man to the wall. So Dunstan shackled Satan and then made the job as painful for Satan as he could. In the end, Dunstan refused to release Satan until he vowed never to enter a house with a horseshoe over the door. Now, if you didn't know that story, you probably don't know this. Later, horseshoes moved from over the door to the middle of the door and became the knocker. Even later than that, it was thought that witches were afraid of horseshoes, and you could ward one off with a horseshoe. Women accused of being witches were buried with horseshoe nailed to the top of their coffin to prevent resurrection. Tradition was that when a blacksmith made marriage vows or business commitments, they didn't do them with a hand on the Bible, but rather on the anvil where they made their horseshoes. It had that spiritual connection. Now, I don't know about you, but this has all made me rethink the knocker on my front door. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.